If you want the quickest possible way to AirDrop files from your Mac, just add the free app menu drop to your menu bar. The point being, we can then drag up any file, complete folders, a photo, and even a Safari link to instantly trigger AirDrop. Plus, you can even AirDrop your clipboard. And again, menu drop is free to download from the App Store. But trust me, that's just the appetizer, because I've cooked up 10 insanely useful Mac apps you regret not having checked out sooner. Like, if you've upgraded to macOS 26 recently, you'll have realized pretty quickly that Apple killed the Launchpad and pushed us all into using Spotlight Search. But here's the twist. This right here isn't some old screen recording. This is the Launchpad recreated for macOS 26. The app LaunchOS brings it back perfectly with smooth animations and a ton of customization. We can get it up by clicking the dock icon, menu bar icon, a custom keyboard shortcut, or even a hot corner. The search is super snappy, just like with the OG. What's more, it lets us drag and drop apps to rearrange them or sort them into folders, all exactly how Launchpad used to work. Plus, there's more in the settings, where we can change the page view to a scrolling view, choose another grid layout, and even switch out the blurred wallpaper background for a liquid glass effect. You can download LaunchOS for free from the developer's website, but most features require a one-time purchase of $12 for the Pro version. Now, when I first heard about this next app, I thought it was going to be one of those gimmicks you try out once and then forget about forever. But a Pioneer completely proved me wrong. Instead of cluttering your screen with launchers or quick actions, it brings those right to your cursor, only when you need them. With a custom keyboard shortcut, the Pi pops up. And this is where things get genuinely clever. The Pi does whatever you want the Pi to do. We can use it as an app switcher, showing just the apps you have open, or set another keyboard shortcut to use it as a customizable launcher for any apps, files, and folders. And that part's already great, but Pioneer can also adapt to the app you're in. So just for instance, in Finder, I can empty the bin or share a file with AirDrop right from my cursor. And this is customizable for any app, because you can add any available menu options to your Pi. Oh, and when listening to music, it even shows quick playback controls. And to be honest, this whole thing just feels ridiculously polished. The animations are buttery smooth, and when you move around the Pi, you get this little haptic tick through the trackpad that makes it feel, I dare to say, pretty satisfying. Pioneer is a one-time purchase of $15 on the App Store, and for what it does, I think that's a steal. But if you're like me, getting distracted by basically anything on your screen, Monocle is a simple but clever fix to put you in the zone. When you hit the switch in the menu bar, it gently blurs out whatever's in the background of the window you're working in. The point being, instead of minimizing apps or messing with Stage Manager, you can just leave everything open as it is, without the clutter distracting you. There's some customization, like excluding certain apps, plus tweaking the blurriness and adding a weirdly satisfying grain. Plus, there's a gradient blur option, where the surrounding windows softly fade out. You can download Monocle for $9 on the developer's website. If you've ever switched from Windows to Mac, there's a good chance you miss having those window previews in the taskbar or when you switch apps. Doctor brings those to Mac for free. And sure, there are other apps that do this, but 3 things make Doctor stand out. You see, first, it doesn't force you to completely redesign macOS. It simply sprinkles some window previews on top of your dock, or when using Command-Tab to switch apps. And it looks like it's been baked into the system right from the start. But if you do want to go all in, Doctor can also add full Windows style Alt-Tab to the Mac. So proper window switching. There's tons of stuff to customize, from the look of the window switcher to how snappy the animations feel. Though here's the kicker. Apps like this always need screen recording permission to show these live previews. And sure, that can definitely raise some privacy concerns. But because Doctor is open source, I trust it more than any other app doing the same job but hiding what's under the hood. Oh, and also it's completely free to download from the developer's website. On the same note, this privacy-first approach is also what drives the weirdly named app CCC Corners. You already know hot corners on Mac, so moving your cursor to a corner to trigger an action like the screensaver. They're quite neat, but also pretty limited. CCC Corners takes that idea to a whole other level. For starters, we can assign any app to launch when flicking the cursor up to a corner, plus set a second trigger to close that same app again. But this gets even better because we can assign any Apple shortcut you've created in the Shortcuts app. The point being, you can turn a corner into literally anything, like starting a focus mode, toggling your lights, or opening a new note. What's more, to avoid accidental triggers, we can set modifiers so that a corner only activates when holding down a certain key. The developer says the app collects no data and you don't even have to give it any accessibility permissions in the settings. It's a one-time purchase of $3 on the App Store. Substage bakes AI into the Finder. And before you're gonna type it, not in that sloppy let's glue ChatGPT onto everything kind of way. Let me explain. A ton of Mac actions can technically be done through the terminal, like batch converting files, videos, or extracting a file's content. But because most of us just don't bother, Substage lets us use normal English to get any terminal command. It's simple. Let's say I want to delete just the JPEG files in this folder. Instead of selecting them one by one, I type delete all JPEGs, and Substage uses ChatGPT to generate a terminal command. Fire it off, and we're done. And that's just basic. We can also do stuff like convert this video into an MP4, or convert this Word document to EPUB, or give me the word count of this text file. Plus, none of your files ever get sent to ChatGPT. Substage only uses your prompt to generate the terminal command that's going to run locally on your Mac. It's subscription-based at $3.99 a month, but if you use your own OpenAI account, you can unlock lifetime access for $30, which honestly I think is quite fair. Stempel basically fixes a feature in the Finder the Mac weirdly never had. While we can create new folders by right-clicking, we can't create new empty files. With Stempel installed, we can make new documents from the Finder's toolbar or from any folder's context menu. You can create and customize templates in the app, and it's easiest by just dragging and dropping in any file. What's more, it doesn't have to be empty. So just for instance, if you've got a pre-configured Word document, just drag it into Stempel once, and from then on it's one click in the Finder to create a fresh copy. Plus, what I use Stempel for is custom folder structures. Whenever I start a new video project, I always have to create the same stack of subfolders. With Stempel, I just drag my whole pre-built folder structure into the app once, and from then on, with one click, I can drop a clean, empty version of that entire system into the project. Stempel is a one-time purchase of $149 on the App Store. Can't stop saying Stempel. Stempel. If you rely on iCloud to sync your files and photos, there's one thing you need to know. Syncing is not the same as having a backup. If something ever goes wrong with iCloud, even on Apple's end, your data could technically disappear with it. It's unlikely, but not impossible. That's why the app Parachute is such a clever idea. It basically lets you create your own backup of both the files and photos you keep in iCloud, either straight to your Mac, an external SSD, or even another cloud service that you've integrated into Finder. The interface is super clean, as if baked into the Mac. And once you've set Parachute up, it just runs in the background. It downloads one file at a time, saves it to your second storage location, and then offloads it to iCloud again. You can set automatic backup intervals, and you can pick whether Parachute should archive everything forever, or it can stay in sync with iCloud and update or remove files to match whatever's up there. Plus, with a $5 price tag on the App Store, it's definitely one of the fairly priced tools out there. Now, you know how in the Finder you can hit the spacebar to quick look any file, right? Well, try that on a folder, and yeah, not much happens. That's why Folder Preview is a no-brainer. It's a tiny app you set up once and then forget it's even there. But it adds quick look to folders so we can instantly see what's inside, even from Spotlight search. Oh, and it works with zip files too, so we can safely peek before we unzip the whole file. You can download Folder Preview on the App Store. It's a one-time purchase of $3. But what's 100% free is grabbing your popcorn and watching the previous parts of the Mac Apps video series right here. Okay, I will see you there. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day.